What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We got a wild ride in the markets, and we got a whole lot to talk about with Top 1 Futures continuing. That launch rolling out. We'll be talking more about that, giving away prop firm accounts, how you guys can get your hands on 50% off, straight to funded, all that fun stuff. First off, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I am just an idiot from YouTube, yapping here, making sure my volume looks good. Yapping here about trading, sharing my trading, some fun stuff for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content from companies like Top 1 Futures, which I am partnered with. Let's jump right into the charts, man. See what we got going on. I am going to get some fresh markup here with you guys. To be 100% honest, I'm now on 47 different charts. I did not mark up my Top 1 Futures chart after yesterday. So you guys are going to get full chart markup with me here today. Good morning, guys. Just making sure the stream is up running. We got a heck of a lot going on right now. You probably have a lot of the alerts that you got sent from me, maybe from others, on potential for limit down today. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we essentially have some geopolitical events coming on. Sorry, guys, just getting set. Some geopolitics going on that are heavily impacting the markets. We have tariffs going into effect. We have Trump's Liberation Day, what he's calling Liberation Day. And that is causing some volatility in the market. That is causing some serious volatility in the market. So I am just going ahead and marking my overnight high and overnight low, prior day high and prior day low levels coming right off the daily candle. Again, you guys got my full chart markup. That's two objective levels there for you, right? We saw prior day high and prior day low right there. And we have overnight high and overnight low coming off the bottom right here. I am also going to mark, go ahead and clone this bad boy. Oh, it didn't work, but that's okay. I can go ahead and mark off my volume profile from yesterday. Guys, we'll get some full chart markup. And I'm going to look to take some trades. I'm going to be cautious, just right off the open, which is why I don't mind letting this thing open up. Just let any crazy volatility that's going to come into the market. Looking at the 5-minute chart, not too bad. Not too bad, but just kind of let that thing settle down. See if we're going to really have a wild ride here. We did have some 8:30 news. So we'll let the market open up. We'll get some trading in, see if we can't put some profit into this this fresh 150K account. So just what I'm marking up here, guys, I have regular trading hours, right? This is New York session from 9:30 to 4 p.m. That's how I mark it. And I have my volume profile, right? My fixed range volume profile. And I'm coming off value area high, value area low, just, simply right off the middle there. And volume point of control, which is sitting right here. A handful of different ways you could find this. I do it in one consistent way, so it is objective. It's clearly defined. You could say, no, that's not the right way to do it. I want to do it a different way. That's cool. This is how I do it. I'm going to talk about a couple of questions from Discord as well. But let's jump right into some analysis first. Then we'll talk about Top 1 Futures. We'll talk about a couple questions I had on volume profile and bookmap. But first, we're scoping trades. That's the game plan here. Good morning, guys. Appreciate you being on. Smash the like button. Smash subscribe if you're on here with me. Daily candles. Daily candles first, right? Just to get a higher time frame view. This is pretty gnarly to the downside, right? We sold off really harshly, day over day, week over week here, February into March. We had this nice pullback. We had some nice uptrend structure forming, and then a clean break. If we were trend line guys and girls, a clean break to the downside, sliced that through that low, pulled all the way back up, excuse me. And then yesterday, we had a serious wick to the upside, and you could see how this one closed into the end of the day. We had really after hours, after regular trading session hours, a gnarly reaction. We had Trump speaking on tariffs, right, at 4 p.m. Eastern. That was the scheduled news event. And we sold off really, really harshly here at ES. The structure looks very similar on NQ, even more so from a percent standpoint, being down on the day. Gap down at the open, right, at session changeover. Overnight, we've kind of just chopped. We kind of just chopped down here. So if I zoom out, which I'm going to have to do because, again, I got nothing looking left, right? Let's come out to the daily chart. We put the low in, for the last, since August, right? Since August of last year. We cracked through the lows that we put in September. We cracked through the most recent lows in March. I got to zoom like way out here to get any levels below price outside of my my overnight low. So I do want to do that. And hourly chart might be helpful just to kind of get an idea. Nope. Going to go out to the 4 hour. We'll look at visible range volume profile. And had someone from Discord ask me how I use visible range volume profile. Described it a little bit. But this is how I use it, right? Zooming in, zooming out. I run the fixed range volume profile where I have specific levels I mark off every day. And then the visible range volume profile, I'll use it in this more dynamic way, right? I'll scroll in, I'll scroll out, I'll switch between time frames, and that can kind of give me some reference. But if I look at this from a really zoomed out perspective, and I kind of let this thing reset, which it's not resetting for some reason. Way down here looks like the next level that we could come and retest. Yeah. Yep. This area of high volume, this is a big high volume node here. Really all of this price action. I don't want to come all the way down off these lows. I want to get like this area that was tested multiple times and tested as support here and resistance here. So I'm going to come off this area. And again, mainly looking at the volume profile with a zone. If we sell off really harshly to the downside, this is kind of the next area that I'm looking. I'm gonna go for something like that. This is, this is on the 4 hour charts. This is a really wide zone. We drop down to the 5 minute, the 1 minute, but you can see what I'm doing here. Coming off the lows, coming off this area consolidation, tested as resistance multiple times. This kind of resistance flip support before a push up. That's the next area that I think if we start to sell off really aggressively, we could see some support found. Now, I think we could find it just just like 20, 30 points below, just kind of into this, still into this area of high volume from all of this action. But I'm going to leave that zone down there. So let's kind of zoom back in to the upside. We have levels marked. This worked out pretty nicely. And I said I was going to mention this as well. Again, using visible range, volume profile, visible range, right? Yesterday, we didn't have this while I was trading. Why did I have a zone up here? Why did I think that if we were going to crack higher, we were going to come and check this area out and then potentially see a movement outside of it? Well, pretty damn obvious, right? Big volume area coming off of this area right here. I think I marked this while I was on the live with you guys. But that's where this came from. You can see how these zones come into play, right? Very simple, areas of interest, nothing crazy, volume based. It's how I like to trade. Price action, market structure, volume, and order flow. That's pretty much how I'm using it. Very discretionary, very simple, break and retest, breakout style structure of trades. I'm zooming out today, guys, and we got a lot of movement, a lot of volatility. I'm going to trade this more zoomed out. I just don't like, and I saw a lot of experienced traders say that today and yesterday, or especially around high volatile times. I don't like being so damn zoomed in when we are moving as fast as we're moving. I just don't think it presents enough time to actually make sense of kind of where we're at from a higher time frame and what's really going to start to play out. So I think I'm going to run this on the 5 minute. I usually am on the 1 minute for ES, but I'm probably going to start to run this on the 5 and the 15 coming up on these live sessions. Just give myself a little bit more room, look for a little bit larger move, still have that kind of low time frame scalping mentality, but just have a little bit more zoomed out view of the market, because we have such large movements like this that if I'm just focusing on, this price action right here, I kind of am losing track of, the wild movement that we have from yesterday. I can't even see the daily range, So that's my thought process here. Obviously, massive selling pressure, right? Just talking about bias and direction here. Massive selling pressure, right? Selling off through lows on the higher time frames, huge sell off into the close of yesterday, and then a gap down. We did come back up and almost fill, that looked like. But right now we're just chopping around VWAP. I'm cautious on here. So let's just continue to talk about this market. You guys got my chart markup, start to finish. You understand what's on there. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. We have 10 a.m. ISM services. We'll look at news real quick. I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm a technical analyst, but I pay attention to when news is. 10 a.m. ISM services PMI. We got to be cautious of that. We'll be cautious of that coming up in just about 15 minutes. Outside of that, taking a look at Bookmap, we have a lot of liquidity above and below today. A lot. It's really evenly spread. I'll give you guys a look at this. Yeah, I'll give you guys a look at this in a minute. But before that, I just want to talk about price limits. CME price limits, kind of how we can, stay within the rules, right? If we look down here, I'll bring it way up because I don't know if you can see it on the stream. Yeah. If we look down here, this is similar to TradingView, where you're going to see the percent change on the day, right? This is a rough idea of where we're at for the day. And if you're trading with a firm that has rules around price limits and or certain stipulations around price limits, or you just want to be cautious of the price limit itself, this is what you want to pay attention to. Again, this is on TradingView. This is on most stock and futures apps where you can watch this percent change on the day. You could actually also just measure it if you wanted to, out with your measurement tool. But we got to be cautious approaching the 5%, the 5% mark if you're trading with Top Step, and the 7% mark if you're trading with anybody else, which is the actual CME price limit here on ES and NQ. So the rule for Top Step is it's a hard breach within 2%. Most people are not aware of this. It's a hard breach. You lose your account, XFA or eval, in between 5 and 7% up or down on the day, because their rule states that within 2% of a CME price limit, you are not allowed to trade. Top 1 Futures and Tradeify do not have this, as far as I'm aware, but you don't want to be in a position near a limit up situation or down situation where we get a price lock, where the market goes limit up or limit down. And that would be nearing the 7% mark. Again, just based on what that means, it means extreme volatility. We had a massive movement on one single day, and the market has either sold off really harshly or pushed up really, really harshly. So that's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about futures, price limits here, CME price limits. Again, I'm not the expert, on describing that, but I know what the rule is for Top Step. And the simple way to think about it is, you cannot have a trade running or entering after 5%. So if you start to see 4.5, 4 3/4 on a Top Step account, I'm out. You cannot trade. It's a hard breach. They sent an email reminding everybody. It happened only once while I've been trading with them, and they excused it because it was kind of just unexpected. I think it was like September or August of last year. But they sent an email yesterday. I'll try to pull it up, actually. Hang on. Yeah, so they sent the email yesterday that essentially says market alert, price limits approaching, what you need to know. As a reminder, trading within 2% of a price limit is prohibited at Top Step. Holding position near these thresholds is considered high risk and not allowed. This rule exists to protect you and the firm. Price limits vary. It's your responsibility to understand the limits. And essentially, they're saying we are already 4% limit down, which we are right now on NQ. At the 5% level, you're not allowed to have trades open. They have a whole rule explaining this, kind of what it is on their site, but a lot of guys are not aware of this. That's why I'm taking the time to talk to you about it. It is a hard breach for them. For other firms, they don't have that same type of rule with a 2% limit, but near the price limit where market goes limit up or market down or limit down, you don't want to be in a trade. That's the deal. So close to that level, we really start to sell off aggressively, harshly. We got to be careful. You can also just see a lot of volatility as we start to approach that. So Just a little bit of discussion on that. Let's take a look at Bookmap together. And for my man Ruben that was in the chat, I'll talk about Bookmap. A lot of liquidity coming on and off the book today. So this is Bookmap. This is level 2 data. This is my order flow software that I pay attention to over on the right-hand side of my second screen. What we are looking at here is live liquidity in the market, and this is what we've been seeing. A lot of big orders. This is a huge stack, and now it's getting moved around. See, it's coming on and off. Huge stacks of orders coming on and off the book. This is showing the quantity of orders above or below price, resting above or below price. Displayed in a heat map. This is live bar conditions. Everything over here is historical. We have price in between with volume bubbles displayed a little bit differently. This looks crazy, but I promise you it's not. It's very simple to just look at the way that I use it. At these specific price levels, this is showing me what quantity of orders that we have. And if we start to head towards an area with high liquidity, I think we might go fill it. I want to be cautious of volatility. This stuff that tracks it, right above and below, these two big, ever moving, like equal distant deals above and below price, is algorithmic liquidity. Don't really pay attention to that at all. It does get a little difficult. It overlaps. There's ways to take it off the chart. I try not to mess with it just because I'm comfortable with this setup. But this is what I'm looking at. Stuff that's real close to price and or big stacks of orders above and below. And the book's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. If I zoom out, we can see some big stacks up here. Pretty obvious level. Nice round psychological number, right? No big surprise there. 5,600 has, big quantity. It looks like 360 some odd, and then five something on the book. If I zoom in, I could actually see a little bit clearer. No, it looks like 5,600 has about 250. 5601, 5602, we got 367, and then another 500 up at 608.5. So we got quite a bit of liquidity up above. Just taking a look at what that looks like on the candlestick chart. Right up here, big stack of orders. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a mark on my chart because I think we're real likely to come up and grab that. Make that like a light orange. Again, do I just say long towards that level? You can. I would like to see some structure going towards it first, and then maybe I would hop into a long. Right out of the middle of this consolidation, right off of VWAP. Do I know that we're going to break out to the upside and go and grab that? No. We got liquidity down below as well, all the way down through the 5450s. We got, a couple hundred on the book down there. I think we could easily continue to sell off, and that would be, more indicative of this trend continuing. We could also chop here. That was a hell of a movement. We were very choppy overnight. This is a pretty muted open so far, so I think we're okay to chop as well. So I don't have a setup yet. First thing that I could see is if we start to break to the upside, I would consider long. Just zooming in. This is not as fast as I was anticipating this morning, honestly. I could see a long. I could see a long up to that level. Again, it would be pretty damn counter, but there's a larger movement that could take place there. And potentially, if we are going to sell off like really harshly into the afternoon, what do we often see from price, right? We see this. A fake out in the opposite direction, clean everybody out that got short down here that has a stop loss above this level, fill these sell orders, fill liquidity, and then continue to the downside. If we are going to see a really big move to the downside, we could certainly see something like that. Now, that's a pretty far distance away, right? We're talking, 80 points above current price right now. Not too far when you look at, yesterday's low and overnight high, 30 some odd points, maybe 33, 34 points to the upside. So I do think it's doable, but I'm not just going to trade towards that right now. Wait to see if we start to sell off from here. And again, if we do start to sell off from here, I'm going to look short. Conversely, we don't pull back. We don't start to break to the upside. We start to sell off. I'm going to look to try to ride this to the downside. I'm going to be cautious if we really start picking up steam. But I could see this going down and grabbing this level right here, the 5450s. 5450s. So. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I was clicking on something on Bookmap, but didn't mean to click that. Yeah, guys, so we're just hanging out on this real quick. Somebody was asking me about Bookmap, difference between global and global plus. Ruben, if you're on here, I'll follow up with you in the chat. But there's not a massive difference, right? I do think if you're going to go for it, right, it's not a huge gap. If you want the audible alerts, you want all the add-ons, you want to be able to look at stops and icebergs and all that fun stuff, I think it is worth it just to grab the bigger package, the top tier package. But the global package from Bookmap gives you really all of like your cumulative volume delta, your volume profiles, and the heat map, of course. But Ruben, if you want to check that out, link is in Discord. You guys get discounts. I'm partnered with Bookmap as well. But I appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Smash the like button if you're on here with me. Throw that in the chat. We had an awesome time on this live for the launch yesterday. What's up? What's up? I'll talk a little bit about what we got going on as I'm watching this market start to sell off. Again, I am looking to trade. I'm in my 150K instant funded here with Top 1 Futures. This is Top 1 Futures. You can see the code up above. 50% off, code RDF. The link is pinned. The link is in the chat. You will also get an entry to win one of 5 50K elite accounts. These are the eval accounts. But that is good up until April 11th. 50% off makes these straight to funded accounts just $3.99. Really, really cool. We'll look at the site again after we kind of see some movement here. But I do want to say, essentially everybody broke the site yesterday. There was too much volume, and they halted purchases at some point late last night Eastern, and you can't purchase an account right now. They are waiting until I think 12 p.m. To open it back up, just to allow new accounts to be created, their payment processor to catch back up. Ton of volume, ton of excitement. Really, really cool stuff. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. What's up, Wolf? Gold, wow, I'm still scared of NQ. Gold is super scary, yeah. Kim, hit profit target in pre-market and locked it up. Yeah, yep. Yeah, guys, this is a good morning. What's up, John? Good morning. Lone Wolf, shoot me an email, man. I mean, shoot me a message in Discord. Shoot me either a DM straight from the main deal. I will make sure someone follows up with you immediately today. If there's something that happened that didn't go through, or that you weren't able to get like an account purchase or something, I'm assuming that it was from yesterday, just everybody overloading the site and them starting to not be able to get purchases through. I think that was pretty much the deal. But yeah, shoot me a DM, man. I'll make sure someone follows up with you 100%. They do have a Discord open. They have like a whole bunch of mods in there trying to help everybody out. But it was a wild launch. They were as ready as they possibly could be for it. But there was a ton of volume, an enormous amount of volume, obviously. And I think there's just so much every site and payment processing and accounts being created and all that stuff can handle. So it's cool. It's really cool to see. But I'm excited like everybody else. Again, I don't have my 3-pack loaded up. I just have 1 here. But I'm going to be copy trading 3, which is the max amount that you're able to trade. But again, there's no accounts until after 12 p.m. Eastern. That's what they're shooting for. They paused it themselves just to to back off of everything and then kind of come back on. Good morning, Ryan. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you on here. Again, we're talking Top 1 Futures. Talked about the market. Wild ride to the downside. We're kind of chopping, consolidating here around VWAP. I'm zoomed out on the 5-minute. I want to see where we go from here. Do we start to break to the upside? Do we start to break to the downside? I'm going to look to trade in the direction that we start to move. I don't want to get involved too quickly here and just try to pick a direction. I could certainly see us potentially filling this liquidity up here. Again, I was showing Bookmap. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go for 10 a.m. news, guys. 30 seconds to 10 a.m. news. I hope you catch this beforehand. Apologies. 30 seconds to red folder news, 10 a.m. news. Be cautious. Almost missed it. So we'll see what this gives us. I like to give you guys multiple heads up ahead of that, but yeah, we got news coming right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got some movement. So here's 10 a.m. news. This was it ISM? ISM Services PMI. Looks like an initial reaction to the downside. Let's see. Not really huge though. Let's see what we get out of this. We do have some volume traded. Yeah, nothing crazy just yet. What I was about to say was, I'll show you what I'm looking at on Bookmap, where that line's coming from. Up at the 5,600 level, quite a bit of liquidity up above and all the way headed up to it, right? This is not just dark black. Quite a liquidity down, quite a bit of liquidity down below, headed all the way to the downside. So while this is up here, and it's some pretty serious levels that look like they've just been sitting on the book for quite a while, looks real, and there is some above, I could just as easily see this go down to the downside. So I'm not getting a clear direction from Bookmap. I think we could start to go either way, and we'll see a lot moved around. So I'm using this with caution today, because there is a lot on the book to the up, above price and below price. But if we are going to move to the downside, right, which would be like everybody's looking short, I could easily see, a crack up here, take everybody out that's already short, right? Maybe stops up here, hit sell orders that are resting, and then continue to the downside. Again, that would be a really large movement. I don't know that we start to see that type of volatility. It might take a really long time for something like that to happen. Conversely, if we just start selling off to the downside here, I'm going to look to get into that. I think we could potentially just start to grind lower. We could head towards first this 54.50s level to the downside. If we do start to continue down through the overnight low, that would be indicative of where we're at, right? If we zoom way out, here's yesterday's high, that crack up before the big sell-off. Here's the entire volume profile and this push to the upside from yesterday. Really, really big push to the downside all the way into the close. Gap down, push to the downside, and then some consolidation, through the overnight session. So again, higher time frame calling to the downside, right? But this is kind of choppy, a little bit of rebalancing here. If we do start to crack to the upside, this is where I'd be looking. We start to crack to the downside. The 54.50 is just because we got liquidity down there, and it's just a big round psychological number. I think that would be a decent target to start to look towards. And then further down would be way down here, coming off this daily 4-hour area of interest. Couldn't help myself, thought I'd stay away, but I took a long after showing the drawdown of 400, gave me a profit of 200, closed, locked up for the day. Gotcha, man. Lock it up. Lock it up. Listen, guys, whatever you do today, again, this is not crazy, right? This is we're not really pulling anything wild. We are starting to break to the downside. I'm tempted on this short. I really am tempted on this short. I think we might. We could just be drifting back and forth here, right? We kind of drifted for a while. But I'm tempted on this short just coming down out of this area, but headed toward these lows, stop above this. I think if we do break, we could see one of two things. Really aggressive break to the downside, like really harsh reaction where we start to sell off quickly. Or just a slow grind that starts to form, right? Where everybody is waiting for that big break and we don't get it, but we just kind of slowly drift lower. Nobody likes what was going on yesterday, and we just continue. I'm not going to take this, though. I'm not going to take this break. I think if we're going to continue lower, we did see a crack up at the open, and that might be all we need to do, man. That might be all we need to do. If we are going to move lower, I'm going to wait for a pullback. I'm just not going to jump in right here. I think this time into the day to allow for this to start to open up. So that's my game plan. I'm going to sit and wait. But this was, again, looking good to the downside right here as we start to test these lows. We do have a little bit of momentum behind this. We got past the 10 a.m. news. We are through VWAP. We tested a couple times, and we are breaking to the downside. I could see this potentially continue. But stay patient for now. Again, we got a lot of liquidity up above, man. I'm going to stay patient on this for now, not sell off the first break of the lows, right? This is our consolidation. This is our, this is kind of the lows of this area. This would be the highs of the session so far. We're just starting to test that. I don't want to be the first seller selling the breakout with a stop above. At least just not yet. This wasn't bad for a move to the downside, but again, we had red folder news coming up at 10. But it looks like we're past that and we're starting to move to the downside. So Stay patient, see if something develops. I mean, kind of choppy for this open. I figured we might move really quickly. I thought we might really aggressively see a sell-off or a really aggressive reaction back up to the upside. And while this is, this is a lot of movement for ES here, even on the 5-minute chart, just points moved wise, volatility, right? The average true range. It's not insane. It's not insane. So let's kind of see what we get down here around these lows. Yeah, I was expecting more. I was expecting more of a crazy move. I really was. Let's just let's look at NQ. Similar structure out of NQ here on the 5-minute chart. A little bit more bullish overnight. Obviously down more percent-wise on the day, but kind of the same deal, right? Push up through VWAP at the open, chop around VWAP, breaking back through, to the downside, but not even really testing these lows from the 925 area, the way ES is. So this is kind of choppy. This is not a lot of direction, right? So I'm going to try to stay objective. We got crazy stuff going on, geopolitics, but I'm not going to let that influence my decision and say, oh my God, we're down, 3-4% on the day, get ready to sell, huge move coming. Like, you might not get that, right? And then you're caught trying to chase this big move that just never comes, and you're just getting chopped up, So I'm going to be a little bit late to the party on this one. That's how I see myself. That's how I see myself getting involved. So we start to sell off right here, get a little bit of a pullback and a continuation, man. We're going to keep doing this. Looks like we might start to see the slow grind lower. Again, I'm just bouncing between the 1-minute and the 5-minute here on MES. We just had so much movement from yesterday that trying to stay a little bit more zoomed out, I think that's appropriate on this level of structure. So we'll see. See if we can't put some profit in this 150K straight to funded with Top 1 Futures. If you hopped on live, yesterday was super fun, guys. If you were on here for yesterday for the launch, it was awesome. They're paused accounts as far as selling new accounts right now. There was just too much volume. They're waiting for their payment processor and everybody to catch up. 12 p.m. it goes live again, 12 p.m. Eastern. 50% off with my code RDF. Again, I'm a partner. I stand to make money from this stuff, guys. So do your own research, make your own decisions. Insane opportunity, straight to funded, no evaluation, an insane rule set, just a ton of opportunity for the trader. Coming from a long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm, right? It's not a bunch of kids with hoodies white labeling something. In my humble opinion, very legit. You can watch the address directly from their CEO if you want to. I think it's a good thing to do. Really understand who they're for, who they're not for. But 50% off and an entry to win one of 5 50K accounts before April 11th. You guys can check this out for yourself. Link is in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. You can check that out. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm loaded up here. This is Project X, straight to funded on Project X, man. It's awesome. As you can see up in the top left-hand corner, we have the Top 1 Futures logo. I'm psyched to be trading these accounts. I'm looking forward to get myself loaded up with 3. I'm just loaded up with 1 here. Had a really long night yesterday trying to help out everybody that was looking to get set up, that was asking questions, was trying to figure everything out, help their team out, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so Top 1 Trader is the Forex and CFD prop firm, right? Top 1 Futures is the futures firm from the same firm, right? Same CEO, same guy, same deal. But yeah, different site. So yesterday, before Top 1 Futures went live, a lot of guys ended up on the Top 1 Trader site trying to figure out like what was going on. I think you'd have to really, you really have to be not reading anything to not realize that you're on the complete wrong site, because everything is not the same. So Top 1 Futures, here's the site. Look at that together real quick. I think actually it might say it might say it's paused. This way they don't even let everybody on. Does it say? I think maybe if you go to checkout, let's see. No, let's see run through. Yeah, man. So this is the site. This is Top 1 Futures. If you scroll through, oh, look at that guy. We know that dude. You got all your pricing on here. This is the instant sim funded, straight to funded stuff. It's the 150K account with code RDF. $399, 6K of drawdown. End of day drawdown mode. You have an opportunity to remove this for an additional fee. Opportunity to change this to any time for an additional fee if you do decide that you don't want a daily loss limit or you care about anytime payouts. I probably wouldn't worry too much about this one. This is cool if you're aggressive and you want to get paid out real quick. Otherwise, it's every 14 days, which for a lot of guys, not a big deal. You do have a consistency rules, a couple things to take into consideration, right? You can only trade 3 accounts, not 20, not 5. Even more rules up here, frequently asked questions page. That's where you want to go through all the nuanced stuff, right? Find out, like Top Step has that under frequently asked questions. Their price limit. You got to understand that price limit rule. You do get access to Top 1 Futures Academy. All these guys on here, badass traders, man. Not talking about myself. You do get video courses. Everybody put together something that really speaks to them. I talked a lot about VWAP reversion trade on Dow and a lot about the mindset and psychology that goes into trading and trading well. Along with that, you get access to ASFX, Austin Silver's program, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, more information from the firm, all that fun stuff, frequently asked questions stuff. Ability to join their Discord. Their Discord is live, ton of mods in there. You can check that out. But yeah, really fun stuff coming from this firm. I think it's gonna say. I think if you go all the way through, it would tell you we're not allowing you to purchase right now. But maybe it is up. I'm not sure. I don't want to send anybody there right now. They told me 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you're looking for an account, I'd wait until then. I don't want to be the guy telling everybody to go overload the site. But links in the chat, code RDF if you want to check that stuff out. Again, guys, I'm a partner, right? I stand to make money. A partner not in that I own anything, right? That I stand to make money from links in my content, promotion. So do your own research. I can't be unbiased. I think it's important to talk about that. Make your own trading decisions. Compare them harshly. Make the right decision for you personally. What's going to work for you and your trading? That's what you have to ask yourself. Look them up. Look up the reviews. Look up Trustpilot. Look up Prop Firm Match. Decide for yourself. That's the important thing to do. I think you would be silly not to decide for yourself. But watching this market continue to sell off, man. Looking good, Zach. Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you guys. It's cool. Really, really cool, man. I'm excited to be partnered with them. Again, I think it's an insane opportunity. It's coming from, guys that are industry professionals, longtime traders. Their CEO, you can watch the address from him for yourself, where he's just, speaking on what they stand for, what they don't stand for. And how they're looking to not just turn a quick buck, but support traders. And I think it's a solid program, man. I'm super excited about it. You don't see me get so hyped up about too many different things. I'm super hyped up about this one. Super hyped up. So we'll see if this market continues to sell off, man. So we came down into some liquidity there, right at overnight low. We got some more to the downside, man. Yeah, a sell-off of VWAP back up here, or this area, that would have been pretty clean to the downside. This would have provided some nice movement. I'm sure we got some guys that caught that, cracked to the upside, testing VWAP, failing to move higher, continuing lower, testing right here at 10 a.m. But this is, again, red folder news event. So am I entering 2 minutes after red folder news event? Almost never, almost never. So right now I do like this to the downside, although it is just slow grinding, right? You can see these 1 minute candles. They're like, there's nothing really crazy here. Maybe not the movement that we all expected today, which is usually how it goes. So I'm gonna wait on the 5 minute chart. I'm gonna see if we start to sell off really harshly, man. But if we don't get too much, I'll probably hang, and I might come back for a second live today, guys. I really had a lot of fun being live with everybody as Top 1 was launching and being able to purchase, and I think that'll be fun again later today. See if everybody just overloads the site and gets too jacked up about it later today. But I'd like to get some trading in, man. So if I'm trading and I'm on this account and I'm on here on ES, I'll go live again and I'll run 2 for today. I think that'll be fun into the afternoon because we might just get this muted open, right? Again, a lot of times the market just doesn't do what you think it's going to do, right? We got crazy move after hours, and then here comes NYSE session where it's like we're selling off, kind of. We're getting a little bit wiggly here, but like no big knife to the upside or downside, like nothing crazy. And then finally, you know, we drift, hang around, chop, and then at like, you know, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, we start to move. Then we really start to see the big move. So I'm going to be cautious of that. I'm going to set alerts on TradingView myself, above and below where price is at, so I can be aware of it. And that's why I don't always have to find myself right into a trade. I don't have to force something right away. I think a lot of guys do. I know we're here trading live. I want to get trades on with you guys every single day. Unless you're super scalping, I don't think you could say every day at, you know, 9:30 a.m. I take 5 trades. You know, if there's a setup for me, I'm jumping right in. You guys know that. I move pretty quick. Again, I could see this to the downside. I'm waiting to see what this pulls back up and looks like. I would definitely look at something if we come back up to this temporary volume point of control, this area of high volume, right? Looking at the visible volume profile, visible range. I try to get that name right because I always call it the wrong thing. And then a continuation to the downside. I like that short. Even higher to the upside, I'm fine. Retest a VWAP, swipe these highs, you know, not swipe these highs, just come up here and then come back down towards this low. I'm short on that. That's my game plan. I'm not going to take it short right off these lows. I'm not my setup. You know, something like that, I'm looking short. But again, maybe I'm waiting for something that's not coming. You know, that might not be in store today. We might just sell right off. And we are getting a break and retest right here. So getting a retest of these lows, right? Prior lows broken into downtrend. If we're looking at the 5-minute chart, we got some volume here off of this level, you know, below this area. So if we did test, I'm just expanding my thought process here. If we did test like off of this area on this pullback and then we continued lower, I would take that. I would take that to the downside as well. Again, cracked overnight low. Buyers immediately stepping back in. We're not just selling off. That's okay. Come up here to reload and then a continuation. That's cool. I'm looking at this short after anything like this. I don't want to take it right here as soon as we start to come back down to these lows, because where does my invalidation point go? Well, it can go above highs of the session, but that's the play. And that's just tight. It's just really tight. You know, if we come right back down through this low, you could take it. Again, just eyeballing it. You could take the breakout, continuing with a stop right above here. I might try that. I might have to try that today. Wouldn't put a lot of risk on the line for this, but I could see that just a continuation to the downside. This is a level here though, right? We got our overnight low. We had buyers step right back in. I'm cautious that we get a wick above this level, but I think I'm going to give this a shot, guys, to the downside. We come back down through this low. I'm going to take this breakout. We sold off harshly. We hit this level. We pulled back up. We got prior bar trading above, 5-minute bar trading above prior bar highs. We didn't quite get to the level that I wanted. I would take this short twice. You know, that's kind of my thought process. So just eyeballing risk. Yeah, 80 ticks of risk, something like that. 90 ticks here on ES. If we start to come through this low pretty quickly. I am on the big boy account, so you're going to see larger numbers, right? You're going to see larger losses, larger wins. But I'm not going to go heavy on this one because I would want to give myself a second trade. If we, you know, just come back down to test this low, we don't break out. I would want to give myself another one. But we got liquidity down at 54.75. This is a tough one to take, to sell off these lows. I'm not 100% on this one, guys. It's just breaking retest structure, the downside, coming down to break this low. Yeah, we got a little bit of volatility here, cracking through. I'm gonna hop into this one. Let's sell the breakout here to the downside. If we have to come back up and test this level, I will be out. You know, that's the tighter risk, just continuing to the downside, like right here, right now. But I'm short 3 micros from 54.81. Wider stop would be way up here, VWAP, way above that level. I'm probably going to keep this thing pretty tight. Just like right down here. Again, I'm looking for this to break out. We cracked below, pulled back up, not really blasting through it right here. Yeah, I'll let it come up here and check this area out. But again, I'd like to be able to take a second trade on this. Like if I don't get it the first time, I get stopped out. I'm going to take the same trade, same direction, same location. So I'm going to watch how this starts to develop, and I may drag that a little bit tighter. But this is a tough one to take. I'm going to be honest. Selling off the lows is a tough one, but direction showing us the movement to the downside. We got volume behind it. We got liquidity down below. We got a gnarly down day today. So I'm short on this. 54.81. Stop at 55.03 right now. I might clip it if we pull back and we don't start to immediately sell off like I'd like to see right here right now. We got liquidity down at 75. Would be really cool if we came through that pretty aggressively. But again, not a whole lot of risk, right? I'm talking about the 150K account. I have triple the drawdown of any of the 50Ks that I was trading, right? $2,000 versus $6,000 in drawdown. This is not a heavy trade. I'm going to be more looking like the $500 to $1,000 risk on this account, trading a little bit more heavily. So this would allow me 2 trades. Again, if we have to come back up and pull back up, hit this level, and then we aggressively sell off, I'm short again to try it. If I get stopped on that twice, that would probably be it. But I'm selling off the lows here. Buyers try to take it higher. We cracked back up. We're back down at the lows. Let's see if we want to get a breakout to the downside. Again, we could see a really aggressive break. We could also just see a slow drift. So I'm selling this thing really low in the move, but it's a tough trade to take, but one that I got to try to get myself into more often. Yeah, seller's not taking it lower just yet, but we got some movement. We're getting a little bit wiggly here. I think we could see a break. Yeah, liquidity at 75 to the downside on Bookmap. I'll show you this real quick. I don't like to overlap my chart. But here's what I'm looking at to the downside. We got quite a bit of orders right here. It's not the algorithmic stuff that's overlapping it. We got more orders down here that is being overlapped by the algorithmic stuff. I'd like to see us come down through this, start to continue even lower. But this could be trouble. Could find some support. These are buy orders down below price. So oftentimes those do step in, and we could start to get into some trouble there. But taking it short, seeing if we can't sell off these lows, continue down to a breakout to the downside. No profit target. Would just look to ride this lower and grab some profit on it as maybe the steam starts to die out. I'd be looking at Bookmap, the 70 level. I'd want to see us get through. I don't know that I would want to hold for a massive move lower with this type of stop loss, right? I'm not stop loss way up here, but we'll see what happens here. Put the trades on as we see fit. That's all we can do. That's all we could do. But if you guys are on here with me, man, smash the like button, hit subscribe. We're trading live straight from our fresh 150K instant funded account. I'm short 3 micros. Light risk, man. Light risk. Got boys trading 2-3 minis in these accounts yesterday that I was talking with. ES cleared pre-market low. NQ did not. Okay. Mike Z, good morning, bro. 54, 55 average session low. Got you. I like that. That would be a nice target. Brian to the downside. Awesome. Appreciate you. What's up? Appreciate you guys hopping on. Yeah, gonna see if we can get some movement. Again, guys, this is a tough one to take, right? Like, I find myself struggling to work my way into movements that start to trend like this. I think a lot of guys do. It's clear what's going on from a higher time frame to a lower time frame. Simple break and retest structure, just continuing. If this is the bottom of it and I'm selling off the bottom, so be it. I'll take the L. If we have to pull back and then we continue to the downside, I'll look to take the same trade again. If conversely we're not going to sell off here, we're just going to find a lot of support, This is going to be a rangy day. There's a buy trade from right here. We got buyers stepping in, unfortunately, on this one. There's a buy trade from right here, right? You know, pulling back up right towards VWAP and, you know, really, really tight risk on it. Yeah, buyers stepping in right down here. Let's see what the retest looks like. Again, this is tough. This is tough. Liquidity still on the book down below. Still like that to the downside, but volume behind that move to the upside. Let's see if it's just a wick higher. Gonna leave my stop where it is for now. Again, I don't love it. I think a retest of this level could be in store, but I wanted to allow it to come back above these highs, just kind of take everybody out. The stop is right here. But this looks like it's going to be tricky to maintain. I'm going to try not to play an ad on my music. That's not good. Well, let's see what we get up here, man. Looking at some drawdown. If we have to take the L, we will. That's and by we, I mean me. I'm cool with that, man. Again, this is a tough one that I find that I often miss. It's just nice movement to the downside. And it's out of fear of what I'm seeing right now happen. But on another day, we just crack and blast lower, you know. We go down and fill that liquidity. But let's see if buyers do indeed need to take this higher, or if this is just a crack to the upside and then a nice continuation down. That would be pretty sweet. If we came back down through these lows, I would really like this trade. I just don't know if we're going to have to continue higher here, if we're going to see a lot of buyers step in and we're going to come back up to check this zone out. Again, which is what I was initially looking at. Even a retest of this area before continuation down below these lows. But this could just be a tricky move. Could just be a tricky move where the sellers are not going to take it lower. Again, I like that opportunity to the downside on a day like today. I said I wasn't going to let it influence me too much. I didn't. Nice break below the low, retest, sellers taking it lower. I'm jumping into that, you know, every day. That's a simple one for me. But looks like I might have to take the L on it. Looks like NQ pulled up really aggressively as well. Quite a bit of orders on NQ, up at 18,975. Yeah, we'll see what buyers want to do here. This is going to be interesting. Again, initial thesis is that we sell off here, right? Right off the bat up here as we were chopping, I figured, yeah, maybe we're going to pull back up here before a big move to the downside. We didn't do that. We pulled back up at the open, tested VWAP a couple times, continued to sell off to the downside, through overnight low here, and then through overnight low here again after pulling back up and trading above power bar high. Nice little pullback. Again, not a pullback up to this level, not a pullback up to this level or above this high before continuation lower, which would have made for a really nice movement to the downside. But I'm going to try to find my way in, right? You know, try to find my way in, structure risk in a way that makes sense to me, and try to survive a pullback that we're seeing right now. We come back down through these lows. I like it. I really like it, but I just don't know that we're going to. There's a lot of buyers stepping in, bringing price higher. Yep. But we'll let this trade play. We'll see what we get. Pre-NFP is always a pain. Yeah, we have NFP tomorrow. If you guys don't know about that, it is a major red folder news event. NFP would be non-farm payrolls. That is tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Oftentimes, we do have a lot of anticipation and choppiness ahead of that event. Really hadn't talked about it just because so much else is going on today around that. But with a move like today that we had, yeah, this looks like it's going to be a stop, guys. Sellers are just not able to step in here. Got an opportunity to manage and just save myself $100, but I'm going to leave it on just in case we do turn. I like where my stop is. We have to continue higher. Maybe we see a tag out and then a continuation, but I think if we head up above this area of high volume, we're likely to head through all the way up here. So for those reasons, I'm going to leave it on, realize the $330, $335, whatever it'll be. If we do have to continue to the upside, back across this bar again. And if this is not just a pullback, I think we're going to head higher, maybe still pull a move to the downside, but, I wouldn't be confident, just yet. Again, if I get tagged, if, we form a pullback and it's a confirmed, move, and then we continue lower, I would take the same trade again. Very, very simple. Jump right back in. My stop would go right above whatever high forms, and I would be trying it again. And unfortunately, would just be too early, selling off the lows. Have to take the stop on a pullback and then continue lower. But that's my thesis here. Conversely, we come up through this high. We don't come back down to these lows. We just start to push to the upside. I'd be waiting. I'd be in wait and see mode. Let's see. I'm just getting some alerts here. Watching this trade pull back on us, guys. I'm just checking a couple messages with all the top one future stuff going on. I'm trying to stay up on everything that's going on so I know firsthand. Yep, still pulling back, man. Not continuing to the downside. Unfortunately, looks like I'm going to have to take the L on this one. I'm going to allow this thing to continue to the upside, take me out at the full stop. I found my data shows that I need to not be playing with these trades here on ES nearly as much as I have been. But we're coming back up to test the 5,500 level. We got some liquidity sitting right there. Looks like we want to go and fill that. We are not just getting a sell-off to the downside. We are just seeing a reversal right off of these lows. Overnight lows getting put in here, and really just not getting broken through. A lot of buying pressure, a lot of volume on that one. Did not want to take it lower, at least yet. But again, love this trade. This is one that I'm taking every day. I find myself, again, challenging myself to take these. It's tough when you have nice downtrend structure, and oftentimes what you say is, well, I'll just wait for the pullback, or it's already sold off so far. I could have entered up here, here, here. And then what happens is, price just continues to sell off harshly to the downside, and we just get this nice crazy break and retest structure lower. So I'm going to find my way into these. But this doesn't look great. Push back up, consolidation, push higher. Again, for the purposes of not killing a trade that potentially starts to sell off aggressively, I'm not going to take this one off. But this could just be a pullback down, kind of trade into this area before we are going to continue through this level back up to the upside. And again, that's my style on ES. It's going to be more directional. I really am not trading off the extremes. I'm not fading the trend. I'm really not, trying to buy the low and sell the high. That's just not the play. I do like to enter on a pullback if at all possible, right? Get myself a better entry and a wider stop. So I'll enter aggressively sometimes right off of a zone. But this one is more of a breakout to the downside, wide enough stop to handle a pullback like this if it's just going to be a pullback. But this one looks dicey. I would want to see us aggressively come down through this low to have faith in this trade. We start to come back up to challenge this high. I think we're coming through this level, at very least swiping above my area, stopping me out, potentially coming back up to this VWAP line, temporary volume point of control. Price loves to return to these areas, but I'm short for continuation. Liquidity still down below, still looking good on that side. There's orders sitting there. Again, there's liquidity up above as well, so bookmap only helping so much. Ooh, we got a nice stack at 450. 54.50, we have 250 lots on the book that was not there before. So we got liquidity down below, man. That could be pretty nice to the downside right down here. We still have some at the 75 level, a decent amount. Again, I'm just cautious that we may have to see one really aggressive wick out to the upside before continuation lower. But trades on, man. Short from 54.81. 55.03 is the stop. We're going to see if we take that $330 stop or if we can continue down through the lows. Zach, I faded you and made 200 bucks. Awesome, man. I'm glad. No apologies needed, right? That's how trading works, guys. Somebody's buying this right now and somebody's selling this right now times 1,000. You know, if you think about it that way, for every trader that loses a trade, somebody else made a trade, right? Every big red day that somebody has, somebody had a really big green day. Different types of trading, different styles, different approaches, and they all work at complete opposite times, right? So if we're trending, guys that are, you know, trying to trade it as a range or consolidation or buy off the lows and are counter to that trend are losing money, and guys that are trading the trend are making money. Conversely, guys that are selling breakouts, maybe holding, you know, for a continuation of that trend to the downside, are going to lose money if it is indeed going to be a reversal and be a trend day, you know, a choppy, you know, reversal type day. There's nothing wrong with either one. You know, stick to what works for you, stick to what you know, what you can hold on to. But that's just kind of how trading works, right? It's technically not a zero-sum game, but it's commonly referred to as a zero-sum game, meaning that for every dollar that I make, I'm taking it from somebody else. Right here, we're in a sim account. I mean, this is an instant funded account, right? So we're technically trading with money that we're going to be able to withdraw. But this is all in the sim environment, so there's no money behind it, really. But trading's a zero-sum game when you think about it that way. So someone's always making money when someone's losing money. Somebody's hitting the buy button for every person hitting the sell button. You can see it on, you know, on Bookmap. You know, we have people getting positioned or closing out orders. These are sell orders above price, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on the book. And these are buy orders below price, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So, you know, this explains the thought process there, right? There's always going to be speculation in both directions, and for every buyer, there's a seller, right here, right now. So, yeah, man, all good. Trade your system, trade your approach, guys. That's the thought process. So back to entry, not stopped out just yet. Pulled back up. I'd actually like this structure. If we come back through that high, I think I'm dead wrong, right? And I can be really confident that, okay, now I think we're going to continue higher. I'm probably not going to try this trade again. If we continue through this low, that's a nice pullback, break and retest to this level right here. Prior lows broken in a downtrend. We checked it out multiple times. Sellers continuing to take it down to this level. So it's decision time. Are we going to break through this? Or are we going to just sweep below this low and now continue to the upside? And, you know, this is just going to be buyer stepping in, a higher low that's formed. We're not going to break this low, and we continue back up through this level. So I think we're getting closer to decision time here, right? We're either going to watch this trade play or we are going to get stopped. But I like not being stopped on the initial pullback, right? You know, a stop right above that high would have been frustrating at this point because we'd be all the way back down to my entry. So I'm cool with this. We continue again back through these highs. I think I'm dead wrong, and that's really just difficult structure to work with, where we're going to get, you know, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, and then a sell-off, right, on a 5-minute chart where I'm a little bit zoomed out. So, yeah, so let's see if sellers take it lower. If they don't, again, I think we're pulling back up, and this is going to be a choppy day. You know, we're going to come check out highs. We have our initial balance low down here. We're coming up on 1030 for those of you that trade the IB high and low. This is more likely to be broken. If it is broken, by a strong statistic, it's more likely to be broken now. If it's broken to the downside, this low right here, we have a considerable percentage that says, probability that says we continue to trade below that by a nice amount, and that we don't come back up here and break this IB high. So we are also trading with the initial balance statistics, which is helpful. But anything can happen. And again, right here, right now, just reading this price action structure, this volume, I want to see us come out of this. I want to see us harshly sell off to the downside. I want to grab some profit, you know, down towards the 70s, the 60s, the 50s here. I would really like to see that movement. But again, man, appreciate you guys being on here. We've had a lot of fun this week. Wild week in the markets. Wild week with Top 1 Futures. For those of you that hopped on late, I'll drop that link again, man. Trying to make sure everybody within range of hearing me yap can grab this. So I'm hyped on it. Code RDF gets you 50% off. And as we start to break this low, and we turn this into a winner, and entry to win one of 5 50K accounts. Top 1 Futures, straight to funded on Project X. That's what I'm trading here, not Top Step X. Awesome rule set, but decide it for yourself. Just hop on the site, check it out. Code RDF if you decide you want to jump into it. Check that out, and let me know what you think, if nothing else. If you have any questions, hit me up in Discord. 100% free Discord. If you don't have that link, I'll drop it as well real quick. I'm active in there all day, every day. I was answering questions until like 8:30. My wife was like, "What are you doing? You've been locked in the room for the last like 12 hours yesterday." But more than happy to help you guys out in any way that I can. Again, I'm a partner. I stand to make money from it. I repeat that often. I think it's important to be transparent about that. I can't be unbiased just by definition. But let me know what you think of that. Okay, came towards the low, back through entry. We got buyers stepping right back in. Are we gonna see a double bottom and a crack to the upside? I wanted to see some momentum through this. We might see it. We can get wiggly here. Buyer stepping in. This might be a problem, guys. This might be a problem. We got some volume behind that as well. I can see it on Bookmap. This could be dicey. Conversely, if we do start to break based on this momentum, based on this volume that's coming in, I think we could see something happen quick here. I would like my stop loss to be even wider away to allow for one more wick, but if we come through these highs, I'm out. I'm just wrong. I'm not going to run something higher than, another 4 points above this high that was put in. I entered over here where this was the last high. We checked that out. We got to come through that again. I'm not going to run a stop loss wide enough to handle that. Let's see if we can do it, man. Let's see if we can start to break through to the downside. I'm trying to debate how I want to manage this one, to be completely honest, guys, because I think this could be pretty gnarly to the downside, but I do have a consistency rule on these accounts that you guys may or may not know about. It's a 20% consistency rule. So if you start to put up really big numbers, you're going to have to maintain those really big numbers. So I'm probably going to be looking, this trade, again, not a whole lot of risk, but I'm going to be looking not to really blow past like the $1,000 mark on any one given day, right? Because if you start putting up $2,000 days, you're not taking a payout until you hit, 10,000, 12,000 plus. You don't need to do all that. But I'm probably going to be looking to cap it around that $1,000 mark, maybe a little bit less. I think I'd be fine with that, but probably not exceeding that too much to work within that consistency rule, not have one banger day and then set myself up for having to maintain really big days, especially if I'm not putting on a lot of risk right off the bat. Can we take it lower, guys? Can we take it lower? Let's see. NQ pulling back as well. A lot of liquidity down below for NQ. Could start to see it happen, but we're struggling, man. We're struggling to break this low. Appreciate you guys being on. We got a trade running in the fresh account, trading live with you guys. Like I say, man, you don't have to wonder whether or not you want to listen to me or how I trade or the way that I talk about stuff, or if you think that I can trade well or not. You can just watch it happen in real time. You'll watch the wins, the losses every day, straight from my terminal. No behind the screens, after the fact stuff. You watch the stop outs. You watch the take profits. You watch everything in between. I think that's a fun way to do it. I'm live here on YouTube almost every damn day, 9:30 a.m. Was talking about doing more in the afternoons. I'm going to see about that. I'm not exactly sure I want to run that afternoon move. I like that 9:30. Can we get a breakthrough, or are we going to see a double bottom here, man? Yeah, this doesn't look bad. I mean, this doesn't look bad. We We had a chance to move it higher plenty of times, especially right here. We had a chance to take it back up higher here. We're hitting lows again and again and again, man. Survive the initial pullback. I'd love to see this extension to the downside. Again, I think we can easily wick up higher, especially before larger movements. And this could be a larger movement. Like we are in store for something large. We could easily see really aggressive wick higher and then a move lower. But we're breaking through lows so far. I like this. We're through the 75s. We got liquidity continuing down below. I'm going to hang on to this for right now. That's my game plan. But showing me a little bit of profit. I'm looking at the 450 level. We got liquidity on the book down there. Through these 70s would be pretty interesting to see what happens. We're coming into buy orders right now. Oh, we got iceberging going on right here. That's definitely what that is. This could be a problem. So when you see price start to come into one level, there's a certain amount of orders on the book. They're not essentially iceberg, meaning whoever has orders sitting there is not showing you all of the orders. As price comes in and starts to fill, they start adding more orders on. It's pretty easy to read once you watch the DOM enough. Where you just see, maybe that was like 200 lots sitting on the book that just continued to hit the book over and over and over again without price moving through it, and you're watching volume being traded. This could be an interesting spot. Yeah, I think it's done. That's pretty much done. We filled a little bit here. We're kind of just bouncing around. Would like to see a move through. There's not too much down below right here that would really just fuel this fire. But the 450s look good to the downside, man. We'll see. We'll see. Could be the slower grind, right? A lot of times we're anticipating this fast move and it can be hard to hang on to. But let's see if we get through the 70s here as well. See if we can't take a little bit more of a break. Again, I'd be looking at this 450 level, for a wide target. But if we started to aggressively sell off and then we found some buyers, I'd probably look to manage this, right? I'd look to grab some profit. Maybe protect risk, protect capital to the upside. But we got a breakout to the downside through the low. We got sellers trying to take this lower. There's not a ton of volume behind this. Would have, again, like to see the nice, obviously. Would like to see price knife in my direction here. The escalator to the downside. Let's see if we can get some movement, though. See if we can get some movement. Yeah, guys, we are also getting close to that limit. Okay, so heads up. Good call, guys. Quotes. If you're trading NQ right now, and you're on a Top Step account, I would close out. 4.85% to the downside. You are approaching that 5% limit. I would absolutely be out of the way for that. I'm actually going to throw a hard target in here just in case we do knife down lower. This way I'm out. I'm probably not going to hold to this level, guys, but just in case we do knife to the downside, that would be a continuation lower. I can use my measurement tool. We're not talking... Yeah, we still got room. We still got plenty of room, honestly, on ES. Because, again, I'm not on Top Step here, so I don't have to worry about that. But we are approaching that 5% level. You're 0.2 of a... Excuse me. You're 0.2% away from the 5% rule. So good call, guys, in the chat. I would be really, really cautious if you are trading on NQ on Top Step specifically. This does not go for every other account, but you can see this down here in the quotes. Can you guys see this? Yeah, this is the percent change on the day. Again, this is like not exact and it changes rapidly. So if you're trading on NQ, again, on Top Step, I would be out. I'd be out right now because you are going to come into that 5% range right now. I think it would be unlikely if you didn't. If you're on ES, you got a little bit more room to work with, but not much. We start to sell off really aggressively. I'd be really cautious. I'd be out. I'd have stop losses or take profits set. And I would get yourself out of the way, man, because this might start to move quickly, and it is a hard breach for Top Step. I want to... It sent in everybody's email. They were clear about it. I think a ton of people are going to lose accounts today on Top Step. A ton. You're going to see an uproar. They were clear about it. They were very clear about the rule. They reminded everybody they don't have to. It's listed on their site. Be cautious, guys. For me, I don't have to worry until we approach the actual price limit, which is 7%. Here on Top 1 Futures, But I'm going to be cautious if we start to sell off really, really aggressively. This is nice. We're still breaking to the downside. I'm going to hang on to this one. There you go. We're hitting 5% down on the day for NQ. So if you see anybody trading top step accounts right now with open positions, you're in trouble. That's going to be a problem. So first time I see the 5% hit ever. Yeah, man. COVID, we had limit down days. But September and August of last year, we did go 5% down. It was during the overnight session. Top Step excused everybody, but we're seeing something we don't usually see, right, guys? This is a massive movement to the downside relative to the day, not for the session, but relative to the day. You can see the percent change down here. That is heavy. I'm gonna check it on. TradingView as well, just to see what TradingView is showing. Make sure we're not like skewed or something here. Yeah, TradingView showing it as well, man. MNQ, NQ down 5% of the day. I would get out of Top Step accounts if you didn't already. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. And if you're trading ES, again, we are at 4.33, 4.33. I'd be really cautious as we approach this. Again, guys, I'm calling it right now on the live, and I'm going to clip this. I guarantee you we see a ton of lost, if they enforce it, a ton of lost Top Step evals and XFAs and maybe live accounts. I think it translates to live accounts as well. And an uproar of people complaining because of that rule, but it was clearly stated and it was sent in an email. So it's on the trader to understand this stuff. Again, there's things that happen that are not common. This is not really common, right? This is not particularly common, but it does happen. And we approach price limits, have to be cautious. Have to be cautious. It's our responsibility to understand what this stuff means and how we have to respond to it as traders. So, it's on you guys. And I think you're going to see a ton on social media if they enforce the rule, because we are past that point right now. We're trading past 5%. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that was a lot of yapping about that rule, but it's important, guys. Really important if you're in Top Step accounts. You're already in trouble if you're trading NQ. You're breaking a hard breach rule, and ES, we are approaching it. I would not be touching it. Would not be touching it down here. And again, if you're trading anything at this, I'll be honest, if you're trading anything at this point, including myself, I'd be really cautious. I'm going to throw something down here. I'm not going to hold to this level. But my reason for doing this is if we like knifed lower, really, really aggressively lower, I want to be out. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's common. But just because I don't think something's going to happen, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But if we knifed lower, like crazy fast, we could quickly approach that that actual 7% CME price limit. It's way down. It's way down here. But I wouldn't want to be in the trade for that. You end up losing accounts with that. So again, guys, exercise caution. We're selling off aggressively on the day. Big percent down on both of these. This could start to move quickly. It's been slowly grinding here on ES. We're coming through the 60s. I may look to grab profit on this. Through the 60s. We've got a lot of liquidity now, sitting at 60s. Now that I'm done yapping about price limits, I may look to just grab this to the downside. There still are orders at 50, but we have way more now on the book at 54.60. Looking at Bookmap, kind of hard to read with the algorithmic stuff overlapping it. But I could see us cracking below the 54.60s and then finding some buyers before we retest this level. For those reasons, I'm looking to probably grab this thing for a profit pretty quick, guys. I'm going to let us come through this level, maybe towards the 58. Watching on Bookmap. Again, I'm holding through this, so this is a risky move, but I'm holding through a crack through this level. We can continue to sell off aggressively on the day, but we're getting into uncharted territory here. Yeah, not coming through it just yet. This is pretty gnarly, guys. That's, again, I'm going to repeat that. So there's a 2% rule. Let's pull it up. If you're trading with Top Step, there is a 5% rule, which is in place because of the 7% CME price limit. Which means you cannot trade within 2% of the price limit. I'm going to show you this real quick while I'm watching this trade start to play out to the downside. This is straight from their site, guys. This is what they sent in the email yesterday. It it's prohibited to trade within 2% of the price limit, right? So here's your 7% price limit. Here's your 5%. No trading. That's where we're at right now. Prohibited conduct right there. They're saying, no. It's a hard breach rule. So be cautious. Be really, really cautious. Again, on ES, we're getting close to it. We are past 4%. Oh, don't want to do that. We are past 4%. Showing this again. 4.28 on ES, down percent change, 4.87. I'd be cautious, guys. Really cautious. Again, I'm holding through for a crack through this last level of liquidity to the downside. Not all the way down here. But $200, not exactly what I wanted out of this. Not a bad trade, right? Got to grab onto, showed us 20.25 points to the downside. I did have to sit through 18 points of drawdown on that, close to a stop out. So I'm looking to hang on to this for a little bit longer. Another push down. I'm going to be happy taking this. I'm not going to hold to this 450 level because we got a lot on the book at 460, and I think that's going to be a problem area. It's going to be a problem area. So I'm going to look to flatten if we jump down here, guys. Conversely, if we come up, I'm going to make a decision whether or not I want to hold on to this past my entry. Wolf, NQ hit 5% and went back up. Yeah, so technically, you're allowed to trade before the 5% down. But the thought process is if you have a trade on and running and it's going to move close to that 5% limit, you're risking your entire account by breaking a rule. So anywhere close to that, I'm out. Like within, for example, 4.25, 4.5%, I'm out. I'm done trading. If it starts to reverse from there and comes back up and you have a lot more room to trade into the, the latter part of the day, I would look to hold, I'd look to start to trade again. But as you're close to that level, you can set your stop loss before it, right? You could do the math. You could see what the numbers are. They have them listed. What the actual, I don't have it up, what the price limit is, do the math from that and just not have a trade on before that. But that's the way that I understand it technically, is you're not allowed to no trades open within 2% of the CME price limit, which is 7% up or down on the day. So past 5% up or down on the day. That's a no-go. Yes, it's on the CME website, Wolf. Yep. Again, this is not for every account, but we got warnings from everybody, from Top One, from and I threw it in the group, right? From Top One, from Tradeify. Let me just see. I think there was an announcement. Yeah, so here's the rule as it's explained by Top One, it's the CEO Matt. Yeah, so the rules from CME essentially are 7%, 5% down during pre-market, it goes limit down. 7% down during market all hours, it's a 15-minute halt. 13% drop, another 15-minute halt. 20% drop, halted for the rest of the trading day. These rules exist to protect the market from extreme emotional sell-offs. But here's the other piece. Liquidity conditions may shift during volatile sessions. Trading conditions can change quickly. Expect wider spreads, sudden movements, volume surges, gaps. Really gaps can form quickly. Okay, so here we come down towards the 60s. Let me just kind of manage the rest of this trade, guys. I'm watching Bookmap to the downside. I am looking to grab profit on this. If we get a crack through, want to see this crack through to the downside. Can we get it? We may sail off really, really aggressively from here, but again, I'm not going to hold on to that. I want to see one more push through this level of liquidity on Bookmap. Don't know that I'm going to get it. But that's what I'm holding for. Make this trade a little bit more worthwhile. There we go. Oh no. No. Aggressive buyer stepping back in. I'm out of this, guys. We got a quick crack. Through the 60. Yeah, I should have had a take profit set there. Should have had a take profit step. I'm out of that. I'm going to show you what I was looking for. Green trade, not the profit that I wanted. This was the level of liquidity that I was looking for this to come into. It's being overlapped here by a lot of algorithmic stuff. This is on Bookmap. But as you can see, as we start to approach it, we may sell right back off through it. As we start to approach it, we come down into it, fill really aggressively, and then immediately bounce. That's room for concern. We also had a bunch of orders stack up right here. You can see it that just started to fill. We still have orders to the downside, 54.50, but I'm going to get out of that one. I should have had a take profit there. If my game plan was to grab profit on that, I should have had a take profit there. But I like to allow this to happen because oftentimes we don't get that reaction. We get a knife through, and that's going to allow me to grab, you know, another $100 worth of profit because we quickly knife to the downside. But if I was looking at grabbing right past the 54.60 level, I just should have had to take profit there. Should have had an order set. But again, I like to allow for that. I don't like to run a take profit. Sometimes I'll join bid out because right through those levels we get quick movements to the downside. So I was hoping to push through the 460s and see some movement to the downside and be able to grab, you know, 4 or 5 more points out of this bad boy to the downside quickly. But probably say I'll be setting a limit order on something like that coming up. Let's see where we go from here. $234, not a lot of profit in the 100K, 150K. Again, you know, keeping it light on a day like today. This wasn't the ideal structure that I wanted. This wasn't the beautiful pullback up and then continuation to the downside. So I kept it light. Not even a 1-to-1 as far as risk to reward, but something I've talked about a lot is what's helped me this year a lot is not worrying so much about risk to reward. Really not trying to capture this egotistical large risk to reward number. Look at the market in front of you, make a decision that makes sense to you, right? Based on what you're seeing, the tools that are in front of you, manage that position that makes sense. And for me, what I've seen is don't touch stop loss, trust your stop, let the market come back on you, grab quick profit when it makes sense to you. Don't hold to the moon. Sure, a lot of trades are going to run, but when something on the chart, the tools that I'm using are telling me exercise some caution, you know, grab your profit, move on to another day, let it go. So green trade on that one. Again, nothing crazy, right? Relative to risk, 3 micros. We're trading light today. It's a wild day. I'm not looking to pull anything insane. But yeah, 20. I think I was. What did I say? Short from. Yeah, 20 some odd points, 80 ticks on ES. I'm good with that. If I could do that every day, I'll be fine. No pressure. So guys, any more questions? You guys got anything for me? Feel free, let me know. I'm gonna throw this link in here and show you guys this again now that I'm out of this trade. I'm looking at. I want to just double check this before I say it. Hang on one second, guys. Yeah, no, I don't have the update yet that says the deal is live yet, but I'll talk about it. I think we are still paused for right now. There was just so much volume coming in on the site. Here is the link again, guys. This is the brand new straight to funded futures prop firm, Top One Futures. I'm partnered with these guys. Again, I can't be unbiased. It's not brand new in the sense that they're coming out of thin air. This is coming from Top One Trader, the long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm. What we got going on right here for the intro launch, 50% off the straight to funded accounts makes the 150K just $399. I'll show it again as well. Just $399 for a 150K straight to funded account with $6,000 worth of drawdown. Check this out, guys. Code RDF gets you this price right here. Link to check this stuff out for yourself. Again, this is just the overview. You're going to want to come back up here, go through the frequently asked questions page, and understand that deal. Looking at this, you have end of day drawdown, ability to trade some serious size. You have an option to remove this if you want and change 14 days to anytime payout at checkout. 20% consistency rule. You can't be hitting crazy home runs. You got to have some consistency in your trading because, again, there's no eval. 3 max copy traded accounts. This is an insane opportunity. In my humble biased opinion, because I'm biased, this is the best opportunity right now for traders that are confident in their trading. If you're maybe not confident in your trading, you want to be cautious. $49, you are into an evaluation. There is the $149 activation fee. You have a discount to reset it. You also have a consistency deal on these eval accounts, but pretty modest on the trailing drawdown and the profit target. But in my humble opinion, man, the big benefit here is going to be the straight to funded. So you want to check that out. Again, link is in the chat. Straight to funded. It's 2025. I don't want to take any more evaluations. We're on Project X. This is it right here, guys. This is what I'm showing you. Project X. Integrated trading view chart. All the tools we know and love as we still continue to sell off down through those 60s. Yeah, we're headed lower, man. This is going to be a gnarly down day, guys. This is going to be a gnarly down day. But again, exciting stuff. Check this stuff out for yourself. Do your own research. Understand who's behind it. You can go on Twitter and listen to the CEO, Matt, hear from those guys directly, who they're for, who they're not for, read some comparisons. But really important, this frequently asked question page, which is available on pretty much all firms. You want to read through this in detail. All of your detailed stuff on payouts, rules, everything. This is what you want to look at. So do your own research, make your own decisions. And yeah, guys, super stoked on this one for sure. And again, 50% off and entry to win one of 5 50K elite accounts. Every purchase gets you an entry to win. I don't have a huge following. I think it's a pretty good opportunity to win one of these. This is just for people that purchase one of 5 50Ks. It'd be pretty cool. Posted it all over socials. But an added benefit for using my code RDF. Is the top 1 platform easy to use? I prefer NinjaTrader for futures. Gotcha, man. So it's gonna be subjective, right? For me, I can't stand using Trade-O-Vate. I'm not a fan of it. I've never touched Ninja. I was thinking about trying it, but I love this platform. It's a trading view chart. It is, very intuitive, very simple to use. You saw the way I was in and out of that trade. The risk settings, some of the things that you can set with this are very, very intuitive. Personally, it's my favorite platform by a long shot. I complained a bunch about having to trade on Trade-O-Vate and try to integrate it with TradingView. Project X is super sweet, super sweet. So, but again, it's everybody's, I'll be unbiased there. That's preference, man. Totally up to you, right? If I was born and bred on Ninja, I would probably prefer Ninja. So they are expected to have Trade-O-Vate and Ninja coming very soon. If you guys aren't aware, Kraken, the crypto exchange, acquired NinjaTrader, who owns Trade-O-Vate, not to get this confused. That delayed the process of anybody getting set up with them or onboarded to utilize their platform. But these guys are in line to have Trade-O-Vate and Ninja soon. But for right now, it is just Project X. For me, it's a huge benefit. So many guys, including myself, love Project X. So it's a huge play to get to trade on this platform with an instant funded account with solid rules. But it's up to you. Totally up to you. Rusty, thanks, Zach. Caught the drop, out for the day. Have a good one. Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're selling off. Look, guys, like I said, good trade. I didn't grab my, a little bit annoyed how the P&L ended up. That's dicey, though. I got to get out after a movement like that. I should have had my my take profit set and made this a $334 win instead of a $234 win. Not needed to do that. I was holding for a push lower. I usually don't run a take profit. I like to just manually flatten all on the way down and jump out on a push lower, which is what I was waiting for. So followed my approach, followed my rules. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's not really helpful to do that, but maybe on another day, if I'm really only looking to hold to this level and I want to get out through that level, stop loss, a take profit somewhere down here. But sold into the selling pressure, right, man? I'm happy with that. Like I said, it's a tough trade to take. You're already sold off. You're selling off a major level, but here we go, just continuing lower. This is looking weak. Nothing here for me is calling for longs, right? Wolf said he got long here, made some money, fading me. That's fantastic, man. Look, we both made money, right? You made $200. I made $200. Good stuff. Again, this is a 150K account. I'm going to be looking to take on considerably more risk and put up considerably more profit than this. That was a fairly low risk trade. I wanted to give myself a second shot on that one quickly. Had I got stopped out based on where I was entering, I did want to give myself a second shot. So, and I have a second shot for later on, right? I'm gonna watch to see how this develops, man. Do we really continue to sell off and approach those price limits, or do we start to reverse at a certain point, man? Is this gonna be chop ahead of NFP? We didn't knife lower. Certainly didn't knife lower. We drifted lower, you know, on declining volume, right? So, but you got to take those trades, man. The market's lining up for you. Take the difficult trade. Dr. David Paul, rest in peace, legend in the trading world. If you know Tom Hogard, he was worked with Tom Hogard. I don't know if he was his mentor, but they did a lot of stuff together. But one of the quotes I liked from him is, the best trade is often the most difficult trade to take. The trade that you find yourself hesitating on, you find yourself like just getting too cautious on, that's often the best trade. It's often, you know, you should be taking that one. And again, I found that one difficult to take. That's a tough one, right? We're selling off through this low. Everything's lining up for me, you know, all the way to the downside. Good way to structure risk, you know, time to take it. But here's the pullback up, guys. This is what I was cautious of. Let's see how bad let's see what my, you know, close really looked like. Again, my stop loss was up here above these highs. My entry was, you know, right around here. Let's see what this pullback up looks like. Again, I'm watching to see. I think there's still a lot of opportunity today. I'm going to look to trade it. I have multiple other accounts to trade, although I'm primarily going to be trading these live with you guys, the top 1 futures accounts here on Project X. But let's see where we go from here. Brian's long, average session range, low reversal. There you go, Brian. Look at that, man. Real close to that 54.50. You hopped on, said 54.50. I was eyeballing the same thing just based on liquidity down here. We had quite a bit right at the 60s. You can see how this level came into play. Nothing magical here. This does look like some buyers stepping in. Could be just clean break and retest structure to continue to the downside. But so far, we are all the way back up near overnight low. Prior low is broken in a downtrend. This could be a push higher. But if you got long down here, Brian, well done, man. 55. There you go. Tap that 55 level, and we're pushing back up. So, yeah, man. Different levels will work out really, really well. Really well. I'm going to hang out with you guys for a little bit longer. And, again, I said I might hop back on later, but I might just make this a long session, man. I think there's opportunity today. We got a big day. Market's moving. I'm looking to trade, you know, so we'll see what we get. Just checking some messages, guys, right now. Just checking some messages, guys. Yeah, we're still not up on top 1 futures as far as ability to purchase new accounts. They paused that. So much volume yesterday. Again, I know I'm repeating myself on these sessions, guys, but there's so much there's so much hype around this, and not just hype, just excitement. You know, I don't want to say hype because that could be misinterpreted. But here's what we're talking about: 550Ks. That's the giveaway. Every purchase that you make up until April 11th enters you to win. Code RDF gets you 50% off, gets you these prices for straight to funded on Project X. That is the deal. But again, site for new purchases is paused. If you have an account, you're trading it. Obviously, you're up and running. You see me trading mine right now. Up until 12 p.m. Eastern, should be coming up soon. Less than an hour, they'll be back up and running, man. But if you want to check it out, that is the link. Code RDF. If you got any questions, man, hop in my Discord, ask me. If you got specific questions, straight to their support and/or their Discord. I know they're overwhelmed. I pop my head in there every once in a while to check it out. There's just a ton of people jumping in and asking a ton of questions. It's lit up the entire time. Obviously, as with any firm. pushing back up, man. There we go. Brian, man, right off that level. Very nice. Yeah, we are pushing back up. We did not go and grab liquidity down at 450. I'm not going to be too upset with my close on this one. Again, guys, just checking some messages to try to stay up on this wildness that's going on here. Yeah, they are still holding out. Gonna get an update, and I'll throw it in my Discord. If you want immediate updates, hop in the Discord, man. I threw that link in there. Oh, let's see. Yeah, SR just logged on. Yeah, man, it's showing right here. You don't have to guess how much I'm up or down because you can see it live on the screen. Rest in P&L. Couple $100. Nothing crazy. Did not grab the nice level that I wanted. Took a couple points off at the bottom based on a harsh rejection. Could have grabbed it as we came back down again here, but that's absolutely not the play. This is what I was cautious of, right? If we came down around these 5460s, we could see a rejection and a movement at least back up to test this level. So even if I still am looking short, do I want to hold all the way back up to my entry and back into drawdown? Probably not. So happy with that so far. If we came back down through this low, I could look for a second short. I would look to short this again and sell it off into the ground. Now we would be really approaching those price limits at that point, so I would definitely want to be cautious. But grab some profit. Again, waited for the market to come out of this consolidation, right? There's some beautiful trades to be had up here for sure, but that is around 10 a.m. red folder news. Waited for us to actually pick a direction and then trade in that direction. Simple. I kept risk low, like I said. I'll be looking to take on $500,000, for the trade day in these 150Ks. It's triple the amount of working capital of any 50K, and I still think that's pretty conservative compared to what a lot of guys trade these like. But kept it tight today. Kept it low. Nothing wrong with snagging small wins, man. I think if you let go of your ego and you just decide to grab your wins, should be good to go. Sorry, guys, reading the message. All right, site's back up and running, guys. Let me make a note. Site is back up and running for Top 1 Futures for purchases of new accounts. They're live, ready to roll. If you want to check it out, now's the time. Again, code RDF, enter to win. I'm going to stop yapping about it now. I'm going to throw that link in there one more time, and I'm going to hit my Discord with the update. But I had a handful of people hit me up. Why can't I buy? Why can't I buy? So that's the reasons. Back up and running. Let's see if we break through this level, man. I'm interested. Yeah, man. I think we do see more reversal on this one. I don't know that we just retest this level and continue the downside. This is looking interesting. I'm definitely not taking a short on a pullback up here. But I want to watch what happens at this level. We head back down towards these lows. I could consider it, but my gut is telling me we just kind of drift higher on this. This is still acting up for me. Just checking something out myself, guys. Bear with me. There we go. Rejection off this level, man. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Are we going to see really, really clean structure to the downside here? This is going to be interesting. Now, this would be a really clean retest of overnight low, prior day, prior lows broken in a downtrend, and this low right here. We sell back off really harshly, like down through the 60s and 50s. I think we're coming lower, man. I think that's all we're going to do. Now, conversely, I think this could be an easy pullback. We don't come down below this low or we challenge it. We come right back up and we get a reversal back towards VWAP. But this is really interesting now. I'm going to wait on this again. And this isn't a great structure, right? Because we did get a hell of a pullback. So I'm talking 30 some odd points of a stop loss just to get back above this high from all the way down here. So I don't know that I'm going to take it. But structure down here and then continuation on the upside, that's pretty clean for a long. Continuation on the downside, we're just getting clean break and retest structure headed lower, and that would be an easy trade to the downside for continuation. Now, not for top step accounts because you're down near that price limit, and to be really cautious in other accounts down below these lows because we are getting so close to those CME price limits. So it's kind of a sketchy move, man. So this one's going to be interesting for sure. I'm going to hang out for a little bit and see how this develops. Okay, there we go. Rejection. I could still see this long from here, for a reversal back up to the upside. That's pretty harsh. We did get pretty far extended. We saw buyer step right back in on volume. Gun to my head on long, back towards VWAP, back towards above these highs, even on this session now. But gun to my head, I'm long. Stop loss, way down below the low, where if we have to come back down lower, you're dead wrong, and we are going to continue lower. So let's see what we get here. Yeah, a pullback down to this level and then a continuation would have been pretty clean to the upside. I'm considering trying it though. It's for sure counter on the day, but this is looking so slow to the downside, and I think we're gonna see. I think we got some potential to the upside, back up above these highs. Pretty clean risk structure. It's counter. I think this could be really clean break and retest structure to the downside, but this to me is looking like we want to break back up. Yep. Yep. Again, gun to my head, I'm long. Like I said, I don't have a gun to my head, so I'm not long. But I am considering it here. Wouldn't have to allow a lot of room to tell me I'm wrong. You could definitely run one way down here and, you know, hang on for a banger. But I'd probably go just stop loss down below this low. Looking for this to continue to the upside. Yeah, I'm missing it. I'm hesitating on this one. It's just counter, man. It's really counter to the day. I think we're going to see this play. Here's what I'm eyeballing. Break above these 5-minute bar highs. Hit that level right there. Stop loss right here. I think this is a solid trade. It can easily not play out, right? But now we have really far extension. Pull back, trying to go lower, failing, coming back up, hammering against the highs. That's looking like we want to break structure to the upside, or just, you know, this low time frame movement. Come back up out of this area of high volume. I'd want to stop loss down here to allow for movement around this area. Maybe we do have to come back down and challenge this low, but not so far down where I say I want to allow it to, you know, come all the way back down and sell off. You know, I think we start to head towards that low. You're wrong on this breaking out to the upside. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this one to the upside. I think that is not a bad play. This is a little bit of a concern down here. This is a little bit of a concern. This area that we kind of hung out for so long and then just sliced through. But we did pull back down into this area. Let's take a look. Again, I'm not in a trade, guys. You'll know when I'm in a trade. Yeah, I'm going to take this one, guys. Ooh, that's a little bit heavier than I wanted to go. That's heavier than I wanted to go. Yeah, I'm gonna decide on how I want to handle this one. That was a little bit heavier than I wanted to go. That was 5 contracts, not 3. But yeah, let's see if we can get some movement to the upside on this. Again, counter to this overall trend to the downside, but I'm looking at a crack back up through this level of liquidity. I'm not so sure I want to be sized this heavy. I got an opportunity to change that up right now without doing much damage. But I want to do that. But I'm looking at this continuing to break out to the upside and come and challenge these highs real quick. Potentially a move back towards VWAP. Yeah, didn't want to get in as heavy as I did. 5 is a little bit heavier for that type of stop loss. I was just interpreting that as just being a little bit tighter. But that's part of trading. You're going to put your risk on, do your math ahead of time. That's the rule there. Coming back down, not immediately continuing to break up. Again, want to leave some room just to kind of hang out around this area. It gave me a second shot, but I took it on the breakout to the upside again. Pushing higher, pulling back, continuing to the upside. That's a nice trade. Again, still counter to the day, but after finding support down here, I like this getting long. I don't like being in with 468 bucks of risk with that tight of a stop loss on this, but I'm going to do what I need to do on this one, and it's either going to break out to the upside or I'm going to take this L and end up down a real small amount, 200 some odd bucks. Give me another shot still into the afternoon. Look for maybe a trade if we do really harshly continue through these lows. But let's see if we can get some holding here and a continuation to the upside. We are past that, coming past that 11:30 time frame. Sellers haven't ripped our faces off to the downside, but we could just see a continuation lower. I don't love this stop loss placement either. Hate to be nitpicky about my trade, but I'll critique it. I don't love this stop loss placement right here. I think a wick down into this area and then a really aggressive push back up could be in store, but I'm going to look at this as that was the wick lower and a continuation, and now I'm buying the breakout to the upside. So we need to see a 5-minute bar push up here and get to closing above this. Otherwise, I think I'm coming down to get stopped. We get a push higher. I'm going to grab profit on this one pretty quick too. Nothing crazy. I think it could be a nice movement back all the way towards VWAP. I think coming out of this area of high volume would be pretty sweet. but we could easily just kind of chop around here and then continue lower. This is an area we, had a good chance of returning to, but yeah, I like this one as well. So we'll see how this one plays. Long again. Oh, not long again. Long now instead of short from 54.85 and a half. Stop at 54.66. 75. We'll see if we get some push to the upside on this. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Smash like, smash subscribe. I will be right back. Going to grab myself some water.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go. We're going to listen to Scotland the Brave, guys. Maybe the stream won't get banned. Let's go, ES. I don't know if you guys know, but I have a really odd taste of music. I listen to a bunch of random stuff. That's going to be a problem with my stream for sure. That's definitely not copyright. Okay, so we're watching this trade play out to the upside. Let's see. Volume's back on. Gonna see if we can't get some movement. Buyer's trying it. This doesn't look fantastic. We need to see a break above. Otherwise, we're coming down to grab that 54.50 level down below price. Again, I'm not looking for a massive reversal to hold on to it to the moon. But I was looking at a quick crack back up above this high for a nice one-to-one. Out of this level right here. We'll see if we take it. Again, keeping risk really slow out of the gate on this account. I got $6,000 to work with. I'm trading, somewhat small, right? We got guys that put up, $2,000 in one trade, trading micros yesterday. If I'm out of this one for an L, it's a 236 loss. Okay, I turned my small green day into a small red, and I look for a second trade. But let's see. We got buyers trying it. Again, like I said, not something I'm going to hold for forever, but I'm going to try to grab maybe some profit above this level. I think we could see a reaction if we wick above these highs. Why? Coming out of this kind of final area of high volume here, back above these highs, where these lows are right here. So I would be cautious holding to the moon past that. Conversely, excuse me. Conversely, we come back down through this low. I think that's a really strong indication that we are going to move lower. But let's see if we can't get a crack to the upside on this. Grab a little bit more profit and be on with our morning. Getting out of the long before we break IB high, 20%. Yeah, no, I'm not. This would not be a hold for IB high, Brian, for sure. This is IB high way up here, right? 9:30 a.m. The first hour balance. That's definitely not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a nice quick crack to the upside. You have a much better entry than me and a better risk structure. But I'd like to see this thing go. I think we may have to pull one of these. This is going to be frustrating. I think we may have to pull one of these. Why? Volume profile, right? Price likes to return to areas of high volume. We may have to come back down here. This looked pretty sweet, but it would have been really nice if this wicked all the way down here and then continued. It would have given me a really clean spot to structure risk. So that could be a problem for me in this trade. But I'm going to leave it on. You know, we're not breaking out. We keep trying. This doesn't look bad. Not a lot of volume on it. We had some volume pushing the upside here. Yeah, this could be trouble. This could be trouble. But again, just looking for a simple trade. You know, structure to the upside, coming out of an area of high volume, breaking above highs, coming to test another area of high volume. Simple. Do they play out all the time? No. You know, maybe you're getting, you know, a little over half the time you're right on these. And when you are right, if you're good with your exits, the way I wasn't fantastic this morning, you're grabbing a little bit more when you're right, then losing a little bit less when you're wrong. But modest, right? So, you know, you put your trades on and you let them play out. On another day, this thing rips to the upside. On another day, it, you know, sells off aggressively, right? It's just got to be okay with the market doing whatever it's going to do. Your job is to identify your trade setup, your criteria for entry, put that on with some consistency, use your intuition, use your discretion, most importantly, manage risk, and just allow the trade to play out. You know, there's plenty of days where I'm going to hop on and take L's, 2 L's, 3 L's, back to back to back. That's part of the random distribution of wins and losses, right? You know, that's how it goes. But yeah, good call. Everything is at the bottom of range for the day. Yeah. I may call it a day. Yeah, we said that. I read these ones. Nice. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a push out of this bad boy to the upside. We got some liquidity here at 95. That could be trouble. Let's see. Show me a little bit more profit. I think the 5,500 would be a pretty sweet target right below that, just at these highs. That would not be bad. I would not mind that to grab a take profit on. Not setting to take profit again. We'll see how that plays. I'm not trading into a massive level of liquidity though, so not as much of a concern. But again, I want to see a crack up towards the top end of this area of high volume. I think if we come through it, it would be a very quick, big move up here. But I'm going to look around this 5,500 level as we push a little bit higher. Again, that's not a beautiful risk to reward, but like I talked about earlier, I'm going to make my trades, put my trades on as I see fit. Without trying to have this ego around risk to reward. I have to have a massive risk to reward in order to make money trading, or, you know, whatever it is. Your win rate's got to support that risk to reward, whether it's positive or negative. You know, that's it. Let's see what happens. Watching Bookmap tightly here. This is interesting. Watching this to the upside. All right, let's see if we get a little bit of a break. Got so many messages coming in. I'm getting distracted here. Let's see if we get a little bit of a break to the upside on this. Through these 96s, we got some liquidity. Would like to see a little bit of a further push up. Again, I'm looking past that, towards that 5,500 level. We are coming into some liquidity here. I'd like to see us start to push through. Again, not running to take profit because this is not a massive amount. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit cautious up here, guys. This is going to be 2 pretty negative risk to reward trades. I'm out of that one. We got a nice crack to the upside. We're going to see 1 of 2 things here. A wick above and a pullback down, or a continuation through this level of low volume right here all the way up to the top. That's what I'm looking at. I think we're either going to see this come into resistance, right? Because we are at the top end of this area of high volume. This area that you might mark as a support or resistance zone, or an aggressive push through all the way up past VWAP into these 55.15s. So one or the other. Again, these are low risk to reward trades, but so far today I'm running 100% win rate. So I'll acknowledge that piece. That was a little bit heavier than I wanted to be completely honest. Just not what I thought was going to be 5 contracts, but that's on me to do the math, right? Pull your measurement tool out, look at the contracts, look at your ticks, value it and do your math. But yeah, 2 wins, $492. I'm happy with that. No complaints. There's our crack up to the upside. This looks like we might find some juice to head back towards this level. Again, VWAP and back up to this level would be the next area. We did come up out of this area. We'll see. But good read, right? I'm happy with that one. We are breaking structure to the outside. Taking this short to the downside would have sucked. I'm happy to get long on it. We didn't come back down and challenge this low. So yeah, I'm happy with my trading today. I'd say exits could definitely be better. Just grabbing a couple more points out of everything. But I'm being a little bit defensive today. I'm just cautious of increases in volatility. That first one definitely could have been running a take profit to help me out. Second one I'm cool with, grabbing it right up here as we came into, close to this 5,500 level. A lot of times we'll get close, won't hit it, and, trade within a point and then turn really aggressively. You'll get a lot of selling pressure right before. So, yeah, no worries. Game plan for this wasn't to hold all the way back up to this level. Near this area, grabbing quick profit, calling it a day. On another day, I'm hanging on to these trades a little bit longer. Again, I'm trading on the 5-minute chart. I am going to get a little bit more zoomed out, maybe look to hold on to some things a little bit longer, but I'm just trying to flow with the market here and grab my profit. So not bad. I'm not happy. I'm not unhappy. $500. No complaints. 2 hours of trading to make $500. 2 trades. Nothing crazy. I'm going to wrap it up on that one, guys. That's my game plan. Again, if you last time I'll say it. Last time I'll say it and throw the link in the chat. I see people hop on and off. There's been like a couple hundred people, so yeah, that have hopped on and off. So I never know who's on here from the beginning or not. This is Top 1 Futures on Project X. This is a straight to funded platform on Project X. This account was set up a day ago. I have no evaluation and I'm trading towards money that I can withdraw. $3,000 minimum profit target. So if I do this for just a couple days, right? Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less over the course of a week or two, I'm taking a nice few $1,000 payout out of this account, right? If you guys are interested in checking this out, code RDF, link is in the chat. You're entered to win one of 5 50K eval accounts. These are the elite accounts, not the straight to funded, but you're entered to win one of 5. Every purchase you make enters you into winning. This is the most insane opportunity that I've had. And I say that biased, standing to make money, right? I don't try to be like, oh, I don't know what you mean, affiliate. The link I stand to make money from. I'm on the site. If you have any doubt, here's my face. I don't own any of this, or it's not my firm. But I am happy to be partnered from the beginning with these guys because I believe in their plan. I go and watch here, let me throw this link. Go and watch this video. This is the video from their CEO addressing everybody, their announcement video. Watch this video and take a look for yourself and, decide, what you think about these guys. Along with doing that, also do your own research, make your own decisions. Read the reviews, decide if they're legit or not for yourself, all that. But here's what we're looking at. $399 for the 150K. $6,000 max loss limit. Daily loss limit is $3,750, but it's a soft breach. You can get paid. You can get rid of this if you want for extra money. This is about an extra $100 to not have a 14-day period. If you do that, you're at a best case scenario, 5 to 6 days to pull $3,000 out of one of these accounts. It's absolutely wild. 20% consistency rule, 3 accounts copy traded. The minimum payout is $3,000. The maximum payout is $5,000. But there's no minimum days traded. There's no minimum profit target per day. This is a payout window, meaning from the first day you take a trade, you have 14 days before you can take a payout. But for a small fee, if you are aggressive and you want to get paid before 2 weeks of trading, which I don't think most guys need to, but it's something that I'm going to do for sure just to have the flexibility. This is anytime payout. As soon as you qualify for a payout, meeting the 20% consistency rule and having enough money to withdraw, you get to take a payout. Tradeify, you're looking at make $9,000 to take out $3,000. Top Step, you got to put up $9,000 in an evaluation for 2 days, and then you got to put up 5 $200 green days, and you could take out 50% of your profit. Now, there's more flexibility in that funded account because you don't have a consistency rule and they have a small minimum payout, but the percentage you're getting of your profit is much smaller, right? That's just objective. If you put up $4,000 of profit in the 150K and you want to pull out, 3,500 and leave yourself with a real small buffer, you can do that. With Top Step, if you put up 4,000 in your funded account, you're taking out 2,000 max off the bat. $5,000 max loss limit. $5,000 max profit, max withdrawal. Sorry guys, been going at this for days. $5,000 withdrawal maximum per payout, per account, and super clear path to live. Watch that video that I just dropped. 3 payouts from the same account, you're considered for a live account. Usually that's a drawback. With these guys, it's a benefit in my opinion. Scaling plan up to $2.5 million in live accounts. They are looking to put more and more money behind you, pay you as you hit more profit targets and payout goals. They are looking for profitable traders. That's why they're limiting you to 3 of these accounts. That's why they have a 20% consistency rule, why you're not copy trading 20 accounts and why the accounts aren't $2, right? They give you, in my humble opinion, a lot of room to work, very flexible rules, ability to get paid out, but they are looking to move profitable traders live quickly, very quickly, and then put money behind their trading. They're not here to make a quick buck. I think if I was a prop firm and I wanted to make a quick buck, I would make it stupidly cheap. I would have the most difficult rules in the world where nobody's ever going to get a payout. I would never move anybody to live, and I'd let you copy trade 50 accounts, right? And I would just let people run through accounts and really never make progress. That's not what they're doing here. So at least from what I can see in my biased opinion. But you make your own decision. Check this stuff out. Code RDF. Check the site out. Site's live, ready to roll. 550K accounts up for grabs. Anybody that uses code RDF and or that code is going to get entered to win. Going to be really fun. So I'm excited to have all of that stuff rolling. Along with that, see, we got people on here. I'm going to be doing more giveaways on the stream. Wolf, I read that. Want to do a giveaway for being on the stream? Yes. Get ready, guys. I'm giving out prop firm accounts like candy coming up. You guys missed the early stuff. If you were part of my community early on, I was giving out accounts like candy, a lot of them, right? I'm going to be giving out accounts here on my stream. I'm going to be giving out accounts just for the guys in Discord that are contributing the most. That's coming up real soon. And just on individual social medias, along with this giveaway where you have to purchase. Those ones, you're not going to have to make a purchase. You have to be here to fill out a form. Kind of similar to what we've seen from some other companies where you have to be on the stream, fill out a form, and then, you get 10 minutes to fill out a form maybe. It's random time, encourages people to hop on the stream. I'm going to start doing that in the next couple weeks. We're going to get through this initial launch, make sure everybody gets what they need. Giveaway for guys that are, signing right up. And then for those that are just hanging out, of course, I want to support you guys for being here. But first, guys are getting supported, more benefits, the lowest prices that we're going to see and the most benefits right off the bat that are, jumping in on this early and are excited about it. So yes, Wolf. Yes. We got a question. Do I need, so let's see. Do I need, but I need to understand, do I need to pay any extra? Yes. So here's the deal. For these two, this is a 25% add-on, 25% fee. In my humble opinion, I don't think you need to lose more than $3,750 in any one day of trading. So I don't think that's really necessary. And is this really necessary for most traders? I'm doing it. I think a lot of guys will want to just to have the flexibility. But are you going to hit your profit target under 14 days of trading? Like, is that your game plan? Are you putting on that much risk, between wins and losses and no trade days? Because it's 14 calendar days. 14 calendar days from the first trade. A lot of guys, that's no. So you're not going to worry about that. But to make this anytime, yes, it's a 15% from the price of the account add-on. Yes. Reduces it to nothing. First off, it's either 14 days, calendar days, or no minimum trading days. But this rule, this consistency rule here, and the minimum payout of $3,000, they act as a minimum days traded because you can't trade for one day and take a payout. You would not hit the 20% consistency rule. At best, you're looking at 5 to 6 days, which is still the fastest in the industry, right? 10 with Tradeify, 7 minimum with Top Step when you get through an eval. But here you're looking at 5 to 6 if you did that. Fastest time to pay out. You would have to hit a 20% consistency and have more than $3,000 in the account to withdraw. And if you withdrew close to that 3,000, obviously you're putting yourself in a tight spot, right? Similar to all of the other firms. If you withdraw everything out of the account, you're going to put yourself in a very tight spot to work. So let me know if that answers the question. I think it comes out to like $115 or something on the account. Without the add-ons, I need to make 3K. I don't know if you're following me, brother or sister. 20% consistency means no matter what, you're trading for 5 to 6 days, right? If you hit the 20% consistency rule, and you need 3K, over 3K, to pull a full 3K payout out, which is the minimum payout, right? So at best, with this add-on, you're able to take a payout in only 5 to 6 days. Without that, 14 days from the day you start trading, you're able to take a payout. And then in between payouts, same thing, 14 calendar days from the day you start trading. Let me know if that makes sense. If you have any questions, I'm getting ready to hop off, but I'm gonna be on Discord. Happy to answer questions, kind of talk through this stuff. But that should be pretty straightforward. I know a lot of guys aren't familiar with the consistency rule and how that works. 20% consistency, meaning no single day of profit can be more than 20% of your total profit. So again, if you just made $5,000 on day one, you would not have 20% consistency. Correct. No, you don't have to trade minimum 14 days. It's a calendar day deal. We clarified this yesterday. Calendar day deal. So from the day you buy the account and place your first trade, 14 calendar days from that day. Don't have to trade minimum days. And no minimum profit per day or anything like that. Which again, in my opinion, most guys are going to be fine with that and that. Most are not going to need it. They're just going objectively. Most guys are not turning a profit. Most guys are not ready for a payout in under 2 weeks' time. They're just not. You got to be trading pretty aggressively. Now, plenty of guys are. They're ready in 5 days. They're putting up $1,000 a day, $500 a day, ready to roll, and you're going to hit your 20% consistency, and you want that anytime payout, especially after taking multiple payouts out of the account, right? But that's the deal. You will see it at checkout. Go through. You don't have to buy anything. Go through. Go to the checkout page and look to add those on. Actually, we could do it together. I'll show you. No. That's not what I wanted to do. As we're hanging out talking, again, guys, code RDF. You're entered to win, and you're getting 50% off. Start trading now. Instant Sim funded 100K. Here's the deal, guys. Here's your add-on right here, your bottom stuff down here. No daily loss limit, which again, I'm honest about the stuff, right? Even though I stand to make money from it, I'm not going to push anything that I don't think is, for very aggressive traders, right? For traders that want to put up big money, right, and take big payouts, absolutely. You want the full account to work with, take it off. For traders that are aggressive enough that want to get paid instantly after hitting their consistency target and not have to wait 14 days at any point, for sure. And it's the cheaper one. So I think that makes sense. For a lot of guys that want to get in and take their sweet ass time and just be working towards a payout, you don't have to do that. So that's the thought process there. This is going to be unique to the individual. More advanced traders are going to benefit from this, especially if you're trading big size here, or if you're working towards payouts quickly here. Absolutely. For me, I'm going to leave a daily loss limit on. That account that I have has a daily loss limit, and I'm going to get anytime payouts. I want to be able to take a payout whenever I see fit. And I think adding the $100 that this adds is a no-brainer. It's not a big deal at all. We're talking about, $3,000 minimum payouts from 3 accounts. So if you don't get paid out, you blow the account, okay, you have more money on the line, but that benefit makes sense. It's very worth it to me, but again, it depends on the individual. Plenty of guys are not going to do this. Probably majority will not do either, but it's up to the individual. More flexibility, more freedom, is it needed? I think it's nice to have it as an option rather than the account be way more expensive for everybody. Have it be $3.99, and then for the guys that want it, you could add it on. Understand? Yeah, no, absolutely. So I hope you understand it. I hope you understand it again. Yeah, so I can trade 6 days, hit my 20% consistency rule, but I can request a payout after 14 days. Correct. if you decide to go for this, which is anytime payouts, instant payout, whatever they're talking about, you don't have that. You don't have anything to wait for. It's just the consistency rule. There's no minimum days traded. There's no minimum profit target. There's none of that. You're ready to roll as soon as you hit the consistency rule, which at a bare minimum, if you hit every trade perfect, which you can do, plenty of guys do that, set a profit target, you can get paid out in 5 days. I think 5 to 6 days is more realistic because most of the time you're going to just not be absolutely perfect. You're going to have to get a couple more dollars of profit in there. But again, most guys are not going to make the exact same profit every single day, right? It's going to go back and forth a little bit. So is 14 days a lot of calendar days, a lot of time? Not really. If you make a payout every 2 weeks, like you're cooking, bro. You're cooking. So thank you. You're amazing. I'm reading by 3 accounts. I appreciate you, man. Hit the link that's up there. If you didn't already, hit me up in Discord. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to walk anybody through this stuff. Their Discord's amazing. They've got a lot of people in there right now. It's crazy. But everybody's asking these types of questions. I would also go to the site. Go straight to the site. Again, read through before you guys do anything. Read through this full frequently asked questions, right? Read through every single one. The same that you would with any other firm, right? That's how you know when you're trading with Top Step that there's a 2% price limit rule. Otherwise you don't know that, right? That's not on the homepage. It's not really easy to be found because it's not common, not something that most guys got to worry about, but it's your job to go through all of that and understand all of the rules. So anyway, guys, on that note, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Talk to you guys soon. Remember, trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content and from Top 1 futures, right? From talking about this stuff right here. It's important to be transparent about that. Can't be unbiased. I'm here live almost every damn day trading. The way you saw it today. 2 W's on the live. Can't complain, right? $500 in the fresh account. Wish I was copy trading 3 right now with you guys. It'd be a nice $1,500, but 2 W's, nothing major, nothing big, no big risk reward. But am I upset about that? No. You do that for a couple weeks, getting paid. Simple as that, guys. Not every day. You tune on here long enough, you're going to watch me take hella L's. Back-to-back losses, just the way any real trading will. That's what I'll display to you guys. Subscribe. Appreciate you guys being on here. Y'all are awesome. I really genuinely appreciate everybody that hops on here and subscribes and hits like. And, if you buy an account and support me, support the channel, I appreciate you. I really do. But do whatever you need to do, man. Free means free. Make your own decisions, right? Talk to you guys soon. See you in Discord. I'll keep you updated. Jump in the free Discord, 100% free, not a VIP feeder program. I'm in there active. You can ask me questions. I talk about news, talk about the markets, talk about everything. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks again. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Later, guys. Later, John. Later, Edgar. Later, Mo. Talk to you.